Hi, everybody. It's me. It's Patrick from the Midnight Society. As you can see, I went ahead and upgraded the co-host, at least in terms of looks. It's Miss Betty J. Gathers is here with us while the bat is still on vacation,
Yeah,
and we are the Midnight Society.
and that we are.
That's right. Whatever we get there.
I could
Oh, backlash. Hey, buds. Hi, Phil. Phil's creepy vid.
say,
And Darian, Darian from Magnificent Germany. Hell yeah, come on in, come on in. Glad you're here. I caught Darian over there on his Instagram, telling everybody to go in there and get some of that spaghetti ice. You know what? If I went to Germany, that'd probably be the main focus now. Why I would go. Before it was all about seeing history and all the buildings and everything else. Now it's just because I just want to get spaghetti ice. Welcome to the Midnight Society. We're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna do a little bit of horror talk today. We're gonna do a little horror talk, but me and Betty were talking right before the show, and we felt sort of funny going in blasting horror on 9/11. So we thought we'd just pay us few minutes and talk about 9/11 and share your experiences in the chat. If you guys want to share where you were at during that day and what some of your reactions were to what happened, what were you seeing, what were your thoughts. Feel free to share with that. We'd like to hear your thoughts. We will be talking about some horror movies, of course. That is the Midnight Society, but we like to just talk about that, and pay our respects to the over 3,000 people whose lives were lost, including many of New York's finest firemen and cops and postal authority or harbor authority. um, you know so I hope that's okay. I know that might not be the most cheeriest topic to lead off with, but we thought we would do that. And before we do that, and we will, last Thursday, I was doing an interview with our good friend Jace from the Cinema Squad, and I got a little careless on when I was doing the stream, and I said somebody's name for their first name, and I was a little too casual with it, and I just want to apologize for doing that. So to my fellow ISC Knight forever and always, Knight from the Night Watch Zone. Yeah, my apologies to you for doing that. It was a little careless of me. So I do hope you accept my apology, and I'll be more careful in the future. Yeah, because sometimes people don't always put their names out. What people put as their names is what people really want. That's what they want to be called. That's what they want to be called. If they wanted to be called by their given name, they tell you. So I have my moments. Hi, Andre. Andre's here from New Zealand.
oh, yay.
Awesome. I'm very and Heather's here from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be this is gonna be interesting. And of course, the bat is here. I just saw the bat flying in. So this is called the bat signal right here. So yeah, I know that sounds weird, but if you guys don't mind talking about this for at least a little bit, and they're not going to make it an all night thing, but we'll just talk. I would like to talk about it with you guys. What are some of your thoughts? It's been 21 years.
21 years.
It flies by. It really does. I hear 9/11, and next thing you know, I hear 9/11. But one thing you don't hear, you always hear 9/11, but you never hear 9/11/01. So you sort of lose that sort of the
Yeah.
time, the time reference. It's just 9/11, 9/11. But now you start thinking about it, 9/11/01, and it's been 21 years. Where were you in where were you and your husband at? Where were you at when you first heard and saw the news, Betty?
It where were we? Oh, I know where I was. I don't know why I need a question. I was keeping kids at that time. And another daycare provider called me and said the plane ran into the building. I'm like, huh? What plane? And she said, turn on your TV, turn on your TV. So I turned it on. Then you see, the first plane going in. And
Yeah.
then both my sons was in the Navy.
Oh.
One was in Hawaii, one was in boot camp. And I called my son that was in Hawaii, and they hadn't even heard anything. So he's hollering to the guys that, he's rooming with, and he's telling me, a plane ran into the... And then I got real worried because then I got two sons, both my sons, my kids, that's all I got.
Right.
And I got worried, but that's going to be ingrained in our brains until I know I die. And I always say 911. I know the people that the planes ran, they all, planned it, are monsters. But I'm going to tell you, they came up with a genius thought, 911. They knew we were going to remember that for the day. That ingrains in our brain.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it did, I don't know. I don't know if they had planned on going on, 9/11, and it's like I don't know if they had done that because there was really no historical reference to the date, like if it had been.
No, it's not the date, it's our emergency number.
911. Yeah. It could have been, they could have been some value there. All I know is there 19 out of the 20 were on the planes. See, Al says he was actually applying for a job application at a video store, and then Al said he got the job and worked there for 1.5 years. That's awesome. Yeah, I was at home. Me and Lorianne, we were living in Northville here, and she came and woke me up and said that that the first plane had hit, I'm like, wow, and so I walked in there and I saw the plane, I had hit the first one, and I'm like, wow, that just seems to be, it hit a little bit too deep, like I would think that a pilot would have done anything and everything to avoid that, like anything. And I was just like, wow, they hit sort of high. And so we're sitting there and I'm looking at it. And then when the second plane hit, I just looked at her and I said, well, that's no accident. This is a planned operation, and yeah, it was it was terrible. I just could not believe, it's just like, wow, that's insanity. The very first thing I could think of was like it was almost like Pearl Harbor, it's like the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 41. It was just like out of the blue, out of the blue, and then no one saw it coming. And then we heard that the Pentagon had been hit. And then later on, we found out that the Flight 93 had crashed in Ohio or Pennsylvania. Yeah, everybody was. I just remember everybody on the roads. Everybody's in shock. When you went to donate blood, their lines were like, seriously. I mean, there's just no way you're going to be seen. They had. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. There must have been at least 600-700 people in line. It looked like someone was trying to get inside like a concert or something like that. And I think more people would have been lined up to go in there if they would have had the room for it. But they had like I said, 600-700 people just sitting there waiting to donate blood to ship back to New York. You mentioned in the Nick Cage movie, the World Trade Center movie, that was actually based on a true story. And it was really funny though. It was there was another TV show called Extreme Home Makeovers.
Mm-hmm.
And remember that show with Ty Pennington? They would go inside someone's house and tear it
Mm-hmm.
down basically and build it from the ground up. Well, one of the people that was involved in that show, that actually I believe he was in the show. He was part of the show. Was the firefighter that they based that Nicolas Cage movie on, except
Mm-hmm.
that the character that Nicolas Cage was playing was an African American. The firefighter the story of the World Trade Center, that was an African American firefighter, and nobody realized that until way after the fact the movie had been made. But it was like, yeah, that's his story. But he was on Extreme Home Makeover, and
Mm.
I remember him. He was just very sober, very somber. Um, yeah. Um, what do you think that we have changed as a country? I mean, what do you think what do you think that we learned from that country, from that incident? I mean, we're talking about a horse. We're talking about a horror. So think about this in that perspective. This is like in a national horror story. Think about that. I mean, it's not a movie necessarily, but it is a horror story, and there were a lot of victims there. Crazy ass killers. Um, incredible weapons. I mean, who would ever thought about using a damn plane like that? Uh,
Mm.
hey, Katie.
What you want me to answer that about
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
I think at that time, we were more complacent. We didn't pay attention. And after that happened, everybody seemed to be more aware and seemed like ready to fight. They were ready to protect them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed that. They say the country came together. I guess it did. They said
You
it
know,
did.
I,
But I
I, I
think anytime stuff like that happen, I should say this, that people do tend to come together. They do. They tend to rally around each other. I can't say that. They tend to do that.
it lasted for a little while. I guess maybe about a month or so, a month, 6 weeks before the shock sort of wore off of it, and then we slowly,
Yeah.
it made
We always
adjustments.
slowly go back. That's
I
just
mean,
the way.
there was a time where you're right that we all banded together,
Mhm.
for the most part.
Mhm.
Of
The best
course.
part with me is living through so much history. I remember when John F. K. he got assassinated. Sirhan, that'll burn in my mind forever. And they still not sure if it was him or not. And his brother, I can remember when he died.
I think he died in '69.
And then Martin Luther King, I can remember that. People, I don't know how to explain. They just seem more somber. I know people are still, but it just seemed like it was different. Maybe because I was younger. That might have been it too.
It's just really, this is the age, this is like still the birth, of the internet. I mean, it was going on, but it was still relatively new, compared to
Mhm.
where we are now. I mean, it was only a few years old,
Mhm.
and, um,
Yeah.
and so when something like this happened, it
Mhm.
we had like 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks, 8 weeks of people being together.
Mhm.
Now with the internet being what it is, and the sound bites are coming so fast, natural, national disasters, uh,
Mhm.
they seem to have just an incredibly short shelf life.
Yeah.
It's like, we have shootings and they're there for a week and they're gone.
God.
They're gone. They're just like Las Vegas. You think that, and like, holy crap, that was like the practically a battlefield. But um, it's like it was only in the public eye for, like honestly, it was in the public eye for 2 weeks and then it was gone. And then something else came on. Andre's mentioning
Yes.
time flies for sure. You seem to care a lot more about people when something like that happens. Life is taken for granted. Yes.
Yeah.
And Katie's mentioning it was a sad time for the world. I remember being in school when 9/11 happened. So yeah, it's I now and I sort of miss that for the most part 90% of it, because unfortunately we always have that you always have that extremist that take things and run. Whether it's been like there's several attacks of hate attacks on Arab Americans afterwards, you know just like there were on Asian Americans after the pandemic started. You always have that extreme hate, on extreme, so you get that. And then I think the one thing that really bothers me is that there's always people looking to take advantage of the situation too. They're, instead of honoring the people, they dishonor them by throwing out scams,
Mhm.
saying that they were there at 9/11. There are several different cases of that where they're trying to say that they're part of 9/11, and they were a victim or they have family loss, and then you find out all they were doing was just scamming for money. And
Mhm.
that's
That's it. That
um it,
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 but the most saddest part that I will definitely be engraved is when they was bringing this priest out of the rubble. And I will never forget that. He just looked like he was asleep, you know. But that will be ingrained in my brain forever. It's just
Mine is a captain named Oriole Palmer,
hmm
and you could hear they had recorded his radio, and
hmm
going up the building. He's going up on the, I think it was on the North Tower, and he
hmm
had his radio chatter, and he's going up there, and you could, oh my gosh, you could just, in your mind's eye, you could just see him and his men climbing desperately up. I mean,
hmm
I mean, the buildings were designed to withstand a loaded 737.
hmm
Supposed to design to withstand a shot like that and still stand. And I don't think anybody at that particular time in that space and moment, I don't think anybody really thought those buildings would come down.
hmm
Now the first one. Then once the first one did, then you knew the second one was going to as well.
hmm
Hi, Sean. How are you? Sean says he was a senior in
It's
2001.
a baby.
Yeah. He was cutting school on 9/11,
hmm
um, as did most. So I mean, you weren't that far away, Sean, if you're in Philadelphia. Um, what was it like? Do you remember what it was like that day in Philadelphia? I mean, what was it like? Do you remember? I'm sure you do. Um, if you don't mind sharing your thoughts about it. Um, so they had this this tape of Oriole Palmer, and him and his men are going up, and they're climbing higher and higher and higher, and then all of a sudden that building just collapses on
Wow.
them. Oh my gosh, I just cried my eyes out. I just wept my I just couldn't believe it. It was just so brave. I mean, those firemen were just going up there, and it was just almost like a suicide. It was almost, you almost want to sit there and say, okay, the first tower falls, everybody, pull the hell back out of the second one, and I think a lot of them were trying to get back, but they're still trying to save lives. Um, New York really came together that during that time. Man, if you watch the videos of that,
hmm
it's incredible to see how many people were turning around and looking out for the other person. They were running for their lives. Store owners were opening up their stores, allowing all these
Oh,
people to
yeah.
come in. And I mean, they were just like, they didn't have, they gave out all their inventory, like water and Gatorade and everything else. They just let people come in. Um, oh wow. So he says that it was complete chaos, and the schools closed immediately. Emergency shutdown. Wow.
Yeah.
Schools and businesses were closed by lunchtime on 9/11 in Philadelphia. Yeah, I didn't know that. thanks for sharing that, Sean, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, Now I don't, the only person I knew on any level that lost anybody on any level was I had a coworker at a supermarket I worked at, and one of her cousins died on one of the two planes that hit the World Trade Center. Um, she didn't find that out until she actually didn't find that out till the next day. And I remember being at the store. We were all working at the store we were at. And I do remember her like coming down from the break room, and her face was just pale. She was pale, just, and they told, someone from her family had gotten a hold of her and told her, but they didn't know that she was working. And
Mm-hmm.
well, she must have called into her voicemail or whatnot, and she just said, I just lost,
Mm-hmm.
and the job let her go home. But that was the only person I knew on any level that was directly affected by what had happened. um People think about just the towers, but man, oh man, just think of the web, think of all the expanding ripples from that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 3,000 people maybe died, but how many tens of thousands were immediately affected by that because of family members, co-workers, acquaintances, connections, whatever. Firefighters, they're in the police department, there were, they were bonded together. I mean, it's just, they had to they had to tell people to go home because they were trying to get onto the, uh, where the Twin Towers have fallen. They were trying to get in there and look for survivors. And, they're going in there without all their equipment, protective equipment, or, what have you. Um, because they're desperate, they're like, so someone could be alive. Someone could be alive,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
Fluff. Um,
Oh, Fluff's here.
Fluff here. What is a rising tonight? Well, so far it looks like people are see Sean says that martial law was declared. Yeah, it might have been, and felt. I don't really. It was. We didn't have martial. I think it was the martial law. Yeah, you're right. It was martial law in New York. I do remember that they had a curfew out for that. We weren't affected by it here in Michigan. What was it like in your town? Were you were in Florida still? So what was it like in Florida? Was the same sort of reaction, Betty?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you started somebody. Um, it wasn't anything like out on the streets or anything, nothing that I can remember 21 years ago. It was more solemn, I think, in people's homes than anything, but nothing different. I just, like I said, I know people became more aware of that. So, and a great show to watch, and I never forgot too. Oprah Winfrey had a show on it. It's amazing. If anybody can pull up her 9/11 show, it is amazing. Amazing. It'll bring tears to your eyes, though.
Oh, I think every video will bring tears to.
Oh, but they did it. So they did it. Oh, it was just greatly done on that. But yeah, yep.
I remember, because you're watching watching it live, and I think probably the singular more, after the planes hit, I think the most singular thing I remember after seeing that happen were the people that were jumping from the building.
Oh yeah, I know.
There were people there. There's at least 2, 3 couples
I
I know
know.
that jumped
They
hand in
like. I know. They like. Maybe it'll be a chance.
I mean, well, I mean, it was like either, you were either going to burn to death.
I know. That's what
Well,
I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like you're being told, which way do you want to go? You want to go that way, or you want to go this
I
way?
know.
Um,
Mm.
mm.
Yeah, it
That was,
was.
yeah, that's what really got me too. That really, I got a lot of people. In fact, people were talking about that, and then they were talking about the huge amount of debris, and talking about how they're then they sent in rescue dogs to look for 'em,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
the dogs were coming out, their paws
Mhm.
were up and whatnot. Someone came up with an idea to protect the animals.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
let's see. Sean mentioned if he chose to cut school on 9/11, it turned out to be the best idea I could have made that day. Yeah, because you didn't get caught up in the falls. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure around your school, around that whole area, I'm sure it was really completely packed, and parents trying to come get their kids. I mean, it
Mhm.
just must have been a madhouse.
Mhm.
Um,
I
yeah,
wonder how Australia, Fluff, and if Heather's still here. When the plane went into the building, can you remember, Fluff, where you were during that time, or what the Australians felt?
yeah. Well, yeah. Let's hear a little international perspective. I mean, Andre and Fluff and Heather. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, you guys are in Australia and New Zealand.
Because
What
Andre probably would have been
Yeah.
big then.
What did you think when you saw that happen?
Yeah, because they were in another country. So I just wondered, you know, did they okay, Heather. She was in bed. It was early. Okay. Early in the morning.
Yeah.
But it was a shocker. I know it was.
Oh, I bet. I bet. Oh
Mhm.
yeah. People were I mean, holy cow. I mean, that's one thing. The whole world, even the whole world reacted to us, in a kind way.
Mhm.
Well, I think the only country that actually said anything negative was North Korea, but
Mhm.
everybody else, China and Russia and what have you, I mean,
Mhm.
even those folks were sitting there going like, that's messed up.
Mhm.
Um, see,
Yeah.
Heather saying she was watching TV and everything stopped, and they showed the second tower falling. Yeah, man. It it happened
Another
in not
time
in,
the world, and I hate to interrupt you, but do you know another time I remember this when the world just stopped? I worked at a bank and the cars stopped coming through the drive-through. People stopped working. The world did not move in Florida. OJ Simpson trial. The world did not move. I'm telling you, I never forget it stopped in that moment. I just wanted to bring that up, but it was
yeah.
like it was just I'm just saying how something can affect something and the whole world just stops.
Yeah, I mean that was an interesting time, but
Yeah.
it definitely was. But the impact that the buildings had on our economy, had it on New York City itself. I mean,
Mhm.
lost. I think they said of all the firemen and everything else, I think they lost like a fifth of their strength. I mean, they lost maybe a little higher. Maybe I know that New York City has a lot of firemen and policemen, but I think they lost equipment wise. They lost a ton of equipment. um, yeah, everybody knows 9/11. Everybody knows that. I don't know, and the rest of the world, much cared. I mean, it was more an national thing than it was an
Mhm.
international thing with OJ. But you're right. I'm not going to deny you that.
Yeah, the world
That was that
stopped.
was that was a very strange
Yeah,
time.
it stopped. The whole world stopped.
And then the riots were happening, and that was
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah. It just
Yeah,
stopped.
everybody remembers. You know what? What's funny? It's like it's not funny, but it was sort of like the last 3 or 4 years, and I hope I know that like every time Australia has their wildland fires, it seems that everybody here, and I know in America, I know that they turn around and they notice that they notice what happened. They're aware of it. They try to help out. I think that's what the world needs more of. I mean, they just had all those rains in Pakistan, and I remember a few years ago they would show what was happening in Pakistan, and then there would be an outpouring of relief. Like
Yeah,
everybody here would
yeah.
be trying to send, and you just don't hear that anymore. You don't hear about countries or the citizens trying to rally to help out another country. Now we just sit in there and look at it. Now it's a YouTube video. Um, yeah, it's the day the world did 180. Yeah, our world changed on that date. I mean, it all depends how you believe. I personally believe ever since 9/11, that has actually, that has really hurt our country just tremendously. Our country has just been on a long slide since. I think we might have put up a new building where the two towers were, but I don't think we recovered as a country. I don't think we did. I don't think we recovered at all. It was on TV for 3 days, every channel. The problem was the same footage in the loop for 3 days. Yeah, I mean, if you go to YouTube, like and like especially, I mean, you can look, but man, they have so many, videos, and it seemed like everybody and their grandmother was filming that day. I mean, there's so much video coverage in New York City. It's just absolutely, it's like, every angle, every way, everything is covered. And it's weird that for all that, and we don't have no coverage of Flight 11 and at the Pentagon. We have no pictures of Flight 11. We have like a 4-second clip of the planes hitting the Pentagon, but we have no pictures. We have no other video. There's no other video that's out there that shows what happens flying over the city or anything. That is just weird as hell.
It's always been a question mark.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I just want to talk a little bit about, my our remembrance of that. See, it's hard to recover from anything that horrifying. Losing people through uncommon events is always hard. It's always hard to get your head around you and never forget. Yeah. We did find him. I mean, Obama put that bit in his teeth, and he tracked his ass down and put him to sleep.
Didn't they even hit his body?
He should have gone a little bit further than that, as far as that goes, if you wanted to go and talk about the people responsible for that. But because I mean, we get that over here with like I said, Andre, with in New Zealand, we when you had your earthquakes, and then when you had your mosque shooting, that made that's a good example of a lot of talking about sound bites. It's like we heard about what happened in your mosque shooting, and then it was like it aired here for a day. It was on the news for a whole day about what happened, and then after that, then the news cycle just rotated through, and it went on to something else.
Then the next was, like she say, the bomb in the shoes.
Oh yeah, Robert Reed. Yeah, that actually happened over in Detroit. The shoe bomber. He was that was right here in Detroit. They landed with him and they arrested him for that. That guy was clueless. That guy, he was, But think about this. Since 9/11 has happened, before that, like that was a really rare thing to hear about someone going stupid in the airplane. But since 9/11 has happened, so has a lot of people doing stupid shit on planes. It's like it's an everyday occurrence now. It seems like ever since 9/11, people are trying to open up a door, or they're trying to start a fight with the crew, and it's just like you think of one like, do you know what you're doing when you're acting stupid like that? It's not just you're affecting everybody on the plane. And it seems like since 9/11, that's one of the bad things about it. The fallout is that it seems like more and more people are just their misbehavior on planes is just insane.
Insane.
Um, let's see. Heather says she went to the U.S. in 2016 for the first time, 15 years after 9/11, and I noticed the amount of security required to go almost any attraction around the world, around the country. Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, especially around federal buildings, like a little bit more federal buildings. Like we went to the Smithsonian. There was heavy security. We went down to Dayton, the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. There was a little bit more than a little bit more than normal security. Before you would see security and they'd be standing there with just a handgun, and now you see them and they don't have a handgun. Now they have a semi-automatic weapon. Um, yeah, yeah, snakes on a plane. Yeah, we do. So we do have some weird people on snakes on the plane. That's for sure.
But you know, another thing, and I'm gonna let you go on. They used to hijack planes all the time in Florida between Cuba. They used to always hijack planes. We forgot about that.
Yeah, you know what? It's sort of hard. It's so hard now. I mean, it's really weird. It's like ever since 9/11 has happened. I mean, there's one thing that is true, and that is not every time, because there has been a few. Like I remember right after 9/11, like a month later, less than a month later, American Airlines flight 582, it crashed in Queens, right, like a month right after 9/11. So they thought, oh my God, here we go again. It's just happening again. And it turned out it was a pilot error. But it happened so soon after 9/11, and it crashed inside a neighborhood. Everybody thought it was, another terrorist attack. And it turned out that it was a pilot error. He crashed the plane by mistake, and that's a shame. Well, thanks for letting us thank you for letting us talk about it for a little bit. I just want to pay a little bit of respect up to it, and respect the men and women who lost their lives and were affected by it. Their families were affected by it. And thank you guys, especially Sean, for, you guys are sharing your experiences with it. I really do appreciate it. I really do. If you guys still want to talk about it, let me know in the chat. If you feel like you still want to talk about it, we can. If I don't mind. I don't mind at all. So, Sean mentions, yeah, he mentioned about Bin Laden. Yeah. So if you guys do, just let me know in the chat. But I'm going to move on to something a little bit more fluffier, a little bit more fun. What you guys came here for the Midnight Society, so this this day has been like one from the books. We were originally supposed to do. We're originally supposed to do a. I was supposed to be here with our good friend John from Grande's Graveyard, and him and I were going to tackle some movies that we thought that you guys should see. We're going to do our 10 movies that we think that you guys should watch that are underrated. So John couldn't make it. So so I said, okay, well, I'll go back to plan B. I'll find, because I'll have to find somebody. So I went back to plan B, and I said, okay, what I'll try to do is I'm going to try to talk about John Wick, John Wick 1, 2, and 3. So I said, okay, I'll do that. I'll find someone. We'll talk about John Wick. Okay, so this is a big, massive franchise. Okay. I see a lot of people in our community talk about Charles Bronson and Clint Eastwood and Arnold and John Van Clendab, and I'm going like, man, yeah, this won't be but a thing, to find someone to come talk about John Wick. I can't find nobody to talk about John Wick. Either they hadn't seen the movie, didn't have the movie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm realizing that people in the horror community really truly are in the horror community, and that's where they walk at. I walk everywhere. I walk everywhere. I watch anything and everything. And you guys know, and you guys know this is true. If anybody watches, if anybody's watching my library halls, they know what I'm talking about. I mean,
I don't know where you keep them at, y'all.
so like I got this stack here for this was my latest little library haul, right? And on it, it has a horror film on it. It has one horror film. Has some Oscar award winners. It has the witches on there, so I have the witches on there, and it has Hallmark on there. So you guys get the picture. So I watch anything and everything. So I'm thinking it won't be but a thing to talk about John Wick, but I can't find anybody to talk about John Wick. So I'm sitting there going, okay, well, no longer John Wick. So what are we going to do? And I'm going like, okay, well, I'll just grab, I'll grab who to grab, because everybody's busy or what have you. So, so I asked Betty. I said, Betty, you got to come save me. You got to come save my bacon.
I'll save y'all.
Yeah, I said, come save my bacon. Because Betty is a horror fan. She is a horror movie fan. That's right. Don't let the looks fool you. She's not a Lifetime movie girl. She's a Friday the 13th movie girl. That's right. So I said,
Heather, horror. Heather, you like horror? She like, why me, Betty?
Well, I think that I'm sure Heather and Andre both love horror movies. Both their countries, Australia and New Zealand, have put out some very, very good horror movies. Australian horror is slept on. Australians can, and in a way, so is New Zealand. I watched two very, very good films from New Zealand. I watched a movie called Housebound that was I think it was released in 2006, and then I watched a movie called The Dead Room, which was released in 2007, 2016. Both movies excellent. Both movies spooky as hell. Both very spooky as hell. So there's some really, I wouldn't be surprised to see both them stick their hands up and sit there and say, yeah, we love horror. But you love horror. And so we were going to talk about some of the, but you said that you haven't watched that much lately, but then again, but you do have some movies that you have watched that have stuck with you.
I sure have.
Oh, yeah. So you know why I say this, because a lot of times I've heard this topic come up many times in the community. I've heard people, they'll sit there and say, well, if you're going to introduce somebody to horror movies, what movies would you show them first? And the thing about it is like, I always feel like whenever they say that, they're always talking to somebody young, like they're just now becoming of age to watch older movies and the horror movies, and they're the ones that we're asking that question to. So I'm new to horror. I'm only 18 or 19. Which horror movie should I watch? What would be a good recommendation? And I'm going like, why does it have to be 18 or 19? Why can't it be someone in their 50s or 60s that might want to get into horror more, right? I mean, they love horror. I mean, look at the people in the chat. I mean, look at myself. I'm older. You're older. I think I just saw Echo come in. No, maybe I didn't. Hey, Gizmo, how are you? Glad you're here. I mean, so we have some people here. Sean Blue Digi's a veteran. He's been around horror forever and a day. Let's see who else has been in here. Monkey has been around for a while. He's watched a few horror films. Fluff. Yeah, Echo is here. So I'm sure Echo Echo knows what I'm talking about. But every time we ever get heard that question is, well, what movies would you introduce to a new horror audience? But they're always speaking as if the horror audience is young. So we're gonna flip that over and talk about a few movies that Betty herself saw, who is a little older, and and let's talk about a few of those movies that she liked and were and enjoyed and collected or watched or what have you. So I mean, I know you watch. Did you watch horror? As far as a fan, was that something you did by yourself, or has that been a recent
Me
development?
and my sister used to together. We used to have the cover and pull over our head when the scary part. And
Hell
then
yeah.
after that, I was by myself. I don't think my kids even liked horror. I always loved horror.
Hmm.
The first horror movie I ever seen was The Mole People. And I don't even think that was an hour. I think I need to look at it because I was a little girl. And that was the first horror movie I can remember them pulling people under the ground and stuff. So that's kind of started the adventure of me in horror. My husband don't like horror either.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It is but yeah. I mean, I think it's just a stereotype. It's a stereotype where people say that it's all males that love horror movies, and it's like it's not true. There's a lot of women that love horror and enjoy it. I don't think there's even some movies that have been directed for women. Um, a movie like I always think of every vampire movie that's ever made. I've always felt that they've always made those vampire movies for women. I do.
I
I feel
love
like I do. I do. I feel like every vampire movie ever made, that's a woman, because it's always about the tall, sexy, Count Dracula.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep.
it's always aimed. It's like,
I love those.
yep, yep.
Mhm.
Um, no, I do. It's just like, that's what women, they love the romance of it. You know, tall, dark, and handsome. Um, you know, I just think that those, if you look at all the latest vampire movies, like Interview with a Vampire or Frank Langella's his vampire.
Mhm.
Or whatnot, I mean, every vampire is smooth and debonair. Um, some of the movies from the '60s maybe weren't really, I don't know, even back then, I guess, um, you know Christopher Plummer or Peter Cushing, um, Christopher Lee. I mean, but I always felt like that. I always felt like that. I always felt like the vampire movies were made for women, whether they realized it or not. Um, the mole people. So yeah, the mole people.
That had to be in the 60s for sure.
I'm thinking more like 50s.
Well, I'm sure it was made. It might have been made in the 40s. Shoot, who knows?
Who
But when
knows?
you go back and look at them, then it's like that wasn't that scary. You know what I mean? Even like
Uh-huh.
Superman, how I can remember running home from school. I know Superman isn't horror, y'all, but I just trying to tell you how it done changed. And I
Well,
used to like love Superman. Now, if I look at the old Supermans now, I can see the string and everything attached
right.
to it.
I was
I'm
gonna say, if you were talking about Superman 4: A Quest for Peace, yeah, that's a horror story, but that's sort of different. That's for
talk about the old ones.
Oh yeah, the one with Christopher Reeve on it. Yeah, yeah, you can see the strings and the table and everything else. The back,
It
the
wasn't
screen.
Christopher Reeves. It was I don't know what his
George
name.
Reeves, George Reeves.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Um. Yeah, but that was a fun show. I remember watching that. I didn't see that show until I was older. I
Mhm.
didn't see that. I didn't see the first Superman until I was in my teens.
I used to run home from school. I had to be in elementary. I had to be in elementary. So that was in the 60s.
I think that show ran for 4 years back in the '50s. I want to say it was like from '58 to '61, maybe,
Yeah, it was a while.
yeah.
It was most of the stuff ran for a while, but they didn't run like an hour. Most of them. It was like 30 minutes,
Yeah,
like that. Because you got to remember, you only had 3 channels.
right. Yeah, a half hour. I mean, old school TV. They really didn't get into the hour long format until the '60s. Most of the shows from the '50s to the mid '60s were all half hours. They could fit more shows on and make more money. It wasn't until they started stretching out the format. That wasn't until, like I said, it wasn't until the '60s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what are some of the other movies that you watched that really spooked you? Or you?
Do you remember what was it? The rear view window. Remember the
Oh,
people that
Hitchcock.
was looking? Yeah, Hitchcock, honey. Hitchcock was my man. But the rear view window. I think I'm saying it right, but it was like they were looking out this window. This man, he had that chopped up his wife, and he was bearing a piece by piece.
Yeah. They remade that movie. I think they've remade that movie like 4 or 5 times under different titles.
I like
But
the old one.
yeah, rear view window.
Hacked them up, and bear. And the dog used to go out there and dig.
Right. That's the one with I
I
think
can't
that's the one with James Stewart was in it.
I can't remember who it was, but I know the man was knew they was watching him all the time.
Yeah, Raymond Burr. He played the killer.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Alfred Hitchcock.
man,
He used to
Hitchcock.
come on Sunday night, something like that. But he used to come. I still remember the music in my head.
Yeah, me too. I think his anthologies are pretty solid. Um, I think it's probably my third favorite behind maybe the Outer Limits remake, and then the Twilight Zone, and then I would say
Oh.
Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
It's amazing how you forget a lot of that stuff. You know, till you start looking back at to see the bad seed. Did you? I know you saw that with the little
Oh
girl, the little
yeah.
demon seed.
Patty McCormick. Yep, I remember that movie. Yeah, because it was such a shocker. It was such a shocker because here you go, you got an innocent little girl, you know, a little white girl, and and here she is. She's just she's not wired straight. And they're still doing that story somewhat today. They did the movie the new franchise that got going on called the Orphan, which is basically about a young woman who's stricken by a disease that actually keeps her very young looking. She doesn't grow. So she looks like she's 12. She could be 25, but she could pass off as 12. Her body doesn't grow. And I saw that before I saw Orphan. I actually saw that same storyline on an episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit, and that this girl, she played the same role. She played like she was like 12 years old, and she was going to all these different schools and attending as a student, but she wasn't.
Oh, I feel like I remember that one.
Yeah, and that was actually based off a true story.
Mm.
So they made Orphan into that same story, and as a yeah, like but she didn't have good intent in it. She's and like the bad seed. It's the least likely person you would suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the real old movie, The Night of the Living Dead. You didn't see that one? Yeah.
That movie, I came late to the party. I saw clips of it. And obviously anybody who's in horror knows that, right? They're hey Anthony. Hopefully you're doing well, sir. That movie came out in 1968, I believe, black and white, George A. Romero. And I have clips of the movie. I didn't watch it until like it came on like for an overnight, like a movie overnight, and I watched it for the very first time. I was shocked. I really was, and that movie made me mad. That movie made me mad.
Yeah,
when they killed Ben. Man, I was hot.
And he fought all that time
yeah. He fought through all that time, and all of a sudden, and they just shot him. They didn't even bother talking to him. They just shot him. Romero knew what he was doing, though.
Yeah.
Romero, he had a lot to say. Hey, Hobbs. Yeah. Me and Hobbs watched a horror story today. I,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't really know what they even call that today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that maybe Hobbs has a title for it. I don't know. All I know is it was it was about as ugly as you could get today. Ugly as you can get. So yeah, I mean, I mean, when you watched that for the first time, what was your reaction? I'm sure you remember it.
You talking about what? The Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah. Did it scare you?
No, it's this is the difference to me with the new movies versus the old movies. Is they're scared and fearing that a little bit, but now they done took it to a new level. I don't like that new level. Mm-mm. The Shining and all that, and see, Rosemary Baby was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it was more psychological.
Yeah, now it's like they want to scare the bejesus at you.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think movies from the I don't know if movies. Wow, that's a really good question. It's like there's a lot of great horror movies, but which movies are truly scary? But to me, it's like scary comes at two different levels. I mean, there's scary and then there's disturbing. Now, I don't know. Some people might say one and the same. I see it separately. There's some movies that do scare me. Like holy shit. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that scares me. Um,
Mm-mm.
but there's some movies that are disturbing that I'm just watching and I'm like, holy shit. I'm walking out, I'm talking about it because I just like, like it. Like it. There you go. It's that's the last movie I can tell you that happened to.
Uh-huh.
When I watched it, the new It in the theater, and I wasn't the only one. When we all came out of the theater, we're expecting to be talking about Pennywise. Pennywise, ooh, the scary clown. But most of the people were talking about the guy who played the girl's dad. And because he was like a really evil pedophile. And like he's very, very creepy and it's disturbing. Well, that's disturbing. Scary, in some respects scary. But the clown wasn't. The clown, I mean, I didn't see really anybody really get really scared about the clown. I mean, nobody was sitting there like, yeah, Pennywise scared the shit out of me. I didn't really hear anybody say that. But they're saying, well, like that dad was scary. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I never saw The Exorcist.
Really?
No, I have no interest in seeing it either.
Oh, why? Are you?
It just, I don't know. It just looked like it would freak me out.
You know what? I tell you the truth, honestly, probably would. It would.
I choose my stuff very well, even when I look at it on YouTube.
Yeah, I would. Even though the movie's 50 years old, I dare say if he never watched it and he watched it for the first time, yeah, you would be scared. The Exorcist is one of those movies that will scare you.
Now, see, my favorite was The Walking Dead. You couldn't even call and talk to me on Sunday nights. The Walking Dead was mine.
Uh-huh.
When they killed Herschel, they killed me. It was like, oh. Did you watch Walking Dead?
I only watched the very first episode. I think I
watched it. At least you know about Herschel.
Should I be? Do I have to give up my fanboy card for that? I mean, I know a lot of people didn't watch it. I mean, I watched the first episode. Okay, I should be able to keep my fanboy card for that.
I didn't watch it all the way to the end because they should have ended it before it ended because it just got stupid.
I don't. You know what? I never really thought. I always thought The Walking Dead. Honestly, I just thought it as a dystopian effort, and the simple fact that all those people in that show, they're gonna die. There's just too many.
Yeah. That's what happened.
There's just too many, too much. I mean, they just couldn't survive.
And then we get vested in them, and then they dead the next week.
I mean, it'd be one thing if they had like an island and they had like 100,000 people on the island, and maybe but the series was described to me, and of course, wouldn't you know it? I mean, isn't that series a microcosm of today? Here you go, you got a bigger threat in the world in the
Yeah,
zombies, right?
yeah,
Yet the living people, the ones that should be united, yet all they do is shoot and kill each other.
yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah. It's just
okay,
nothing changes.
yeah, it's like, here we go. You got 15,000 people in the world left, and you got them in all these small pockets, and they're all shooting each other instead of
Mhm.
shooting the zombie. I mean, I never could understand that. Um, what is a dystopia? Dystopian? That's like the end of the world.
Yeah,
Dystopia.
yeah, I heard that, but I don't think I watched that one. I don't think so. This gonna
Um,
get me starting to watch more movies again, though.
yeah.
I haven't watched movies in well, I watch them, but they're the old ones that I haven't saw.
Well, do you and your like do you watch how do you and your husband watch movies? Do you watch them
We don't
together
really
or
watch movies.
huh?
We don't really watch movies. When I watch movies, I watch them by myself. He's a news person,
Oh, okay. Okay.
news of cowboys.
Uh, Pops wants to know what's dystopian do have to do with toast. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because in dystopian societies, everybody is toast. It's like Soylent Green. This ain't toast. It's people. It's not. It's not. Yeah. Um. So what else? What else you got there? Miss
Whatever
Davis?
happened to Baby Jane?
Oh man,
Joan Crawford.
man, you are picking out some winners tonight. So though, I feel sorry. Sometimes I feel sorry for the younger fans.
You
The
should watch
ones.
the older ones. They're
Yeah,
so technical now. Everything they call those boring. They want to just see.
those are anything but boring.
Yeah, they are.
Um,
I mean, whatever happened to Village of the Damned? Did you see that? Where the
Those
little
are the gem. I
picture
saw that.
eyes turned. Yep.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think John Carpenter remade that. Children of the Damned. I think he remade that.
Look at
I don't think it did that well, but I do think he remade that.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And then Average Hitchcock, The Birds.
the Birds.
Yeah. Did you see that one? Nope.
I saw that one.
Oh, okay.
Nope. I saw the bird. I saw the Birds. The Birds were. It's one of those. It's one of those that I really liked on screen. I did. I liked for what it was doing. I
Mhm.
liked the novella a little bit more.
Yeah.
I read the novel. I liked that a little bit more.
Mhm.
And it was really cool in the fact that they never explained what happened, why it happened, and when the story ended, you don't know what was going to happen. It was like it's no beginning, there's no middle, there's no end. You literally are right there in the middle. It's a really effective way of telling the story.
Mhm.
And you got the sense that it was happening right after World War II because they
Mhm.
still using prop planes,
Mhm.
and some of the descriptions that they made, the author made about the
Mhm.
bird, the hero of the piece,
Mhm.
he looked outside and he thought he saw the Navy was out off the shore. He saw just tons of ships. He said, "Well, the Navy's here. That's good. That's going to save us." Until the Navy flew up, they were all birds. It's just like, oh shit. Um, Very good movie.
Mhm.
Another Alfred Hitchcock winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Psycho. Ah.
yep. Did you watch that when you were younger?
Yeah, I watched that one. Scared me to death too.
Uh, yeah, that was different, wasn't it?
Yeah, that scared me.
Um,
And
yeah, I could see that.
mhm.
I didn't watch Psycho until I was in my 20s, and maybe because it was black and white.
Talking to his dead mama.
I remember the shower scene. I saw the shower scene. I saw that clip many, many times. So, but when I watched the whole movie, the scene that got me, it wasn't really the shower scene that got me. The scene that got me was when he comes up and he kills the private eye.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the staircase, and he comes up there and he comes out of his room and he stabs the guy in the chest. And then he's like, the camera's whirling around while he's, from the top,
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to hold his balance. And he's like, the camera angles that Alfred Hitchcock used. He's hitting there. He's like, he's still a shock. He's got a knife in his chest, and all of a sudden he just can't keep his balance. That was the one that got me. I was like, holy shit, that's a really good scene. Well, of course, no one expected Janet Leigh to die in the first 40 minutes. That was supposed to be the big star.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, he did that, and that of course sparked a lot of pretenders to that. Like De Palma's done that many times.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one big example I could think of right off the bat is Dress to Kill,
Mm-hmm.
with homage to Psycho. And he did the same thing. He killed Angie Dickinson's character about 30 minutes into the movie.
Mm.
And he did it the old-fashioned horror film way, right? So, like, yeah, because in horror, how it is in horror films in the 80s. It's like if you went out there and you smoked, or you drank, or you smoked pot, and you had sex, had unprotected sex, Jason or Michael or Freddy were going to come get you. And then in Dress to Kill, he did that with a middle-aged woman. I could do that. I'm going to do that with a middle-aged woman. She went out there. She went and had sex and with a stranger, and her life would have been screwed anyway. remember after she gets taken to that guy's house, and they do their afternoon, and then she's going to leave, and then she realizes that she doesn't have her underwear. She gets dressed. She doesn't realize she doesn't have her underwear. So she starts looking around. She grabs it, and looks like she's gonna leave. She's gonna get home, and then the curiosity gets the better part of her. And she walks back to that table. She sits down at the desk, and she finds that the guy. She looks inside the drawer, and she finds the guy has a venereal disease. So I mean, she was screwed either way.
Yeah.
She was gonna get. Yeah. Yes, sir. You have tested positive. I think it was for syphilis. You've tested positive for syphilis, something like that. Yeah, it was terrible. And then De Palma killed her. He killed her in the elevator. Have you ever seen? You saw Dress to Kill, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh my! So you have to watch it. You have to watch it for the ending. The ending's awesome. But it's the same premise that he did as Brian De Palma did as Hitchcock, because De Palma and Hitchcock, they could be father and son. Their movies all very much like the same way. Okay, what else you got there?
What was The Body Snatchers? I think they did a remake of that a couple of times.
They did. They did the one in 57.
Yeah, the one that the poppy seeds or something.
Yeah, they did that with they did that one with Kevin McCarthy. He's in that one, and then in 78 they did the remake with. I don't know if it was so much a remake or a continuation, because they had Kevin McCarthy's character from that first one into the second one. But yes, the second one, the one in 78, that was great. That was fantastic. Man, that movie was okay. That movie was scary. All right, you got me there. That movie was scary.
And then House of Wax.
I've
seen that a couple of times. Vincent Price.
Okay. Price? Yeah, that's Vincent Price. Now I know they have remade that movie as well.
always
And
remaking.
I just got the remake. I just got
Mhm.
the remake a couple of weeks ago from one of my library halls.
Oh, okay.
Uh, that one is stars. I was actually thinking about doing that on the society.
Hmm.
Um, that one had
Yeah, that would be a good one.
yeah.
I don't think it's that long.
I
I
think
doubt if it's an hour and a half. I doubt that.
yeah. I think it came out in 2007 or maybe. Well, let's see. I'll see where it came out. I think it came out a while ago. Uh, I know it had the four main stars. It had Elijah Cutbirth in it. Uh, it had Jared Padalecki.
Hmm.
Let's see how old.
Yeah, that would be a nice one to do. Yeah.
Now I would like to go back and revisit 2005. I was
Hmm.
so that yeah, House of Wax came out, and Chad Michael Murray, Paris Hilton, Elisha Cuthbert, and Jared Padalecki. I think it was right.
Hmm.
Yeah, Jared Padalecki. So I think that was right before like the I think that he had just started Supernatural.
Hmm.
Not they weren't it wasn't big yet, but they just started it.
Hmm.
Uh,
I know the average Hitchcock. Now I've seen millions of those, but the one that stuck in my mind, and I was younger too. This little white girl, she got this black doll somebody gave her, and she used to tell people that the doll came alive, and they never believed her. So anyway, she was out in the woods talking to the doll, and her aunt or mom came out, and she didn't see the white girl, but she seen the black girl, and she spanked her, and the little girl ran away and turned around. The white girl ends up being a doll.
oh wow.
I know, I'll never forget that. She
Was that
ran the little girl away, and the other white girl, ended up becoming a doll.
so that must have been an Alfred Hitchcock
Yeah, it
present.
was. I'll never forget that one. I had to be younger to
So did you like TV stuff too? Did you like what did you
oh
watch
yeah.
like the Outer Limits
Oh
or
yeah, all that.
the
Yeah,
Twilight Zone?
yeah, all that. Out of limits, everything.
Um, speaking of that, speaking of the Twilight Zone and what have you, um, so yeah, I had actually interviewed Anthony from Dreamland Fever Theater, and as you know, I don't know if you have seen his channel or not. I think I should grab it so
Hmm.
I can drop it in there. Um,
Hmm.
I interviewed him on the channel,
Hmm.
and great show. I mean, great show. But he does Twilight Zone reviews. That's what he does on his channel. He does a lot of Twilight Zone reviews, and it's fantastic. Oh my gosh! Let's see if I can find it. Uh, so you can. Okay, got it. Okay, I'm gonna drop it in the chat there.
Hmm.
You guys go check that out. Um, there's Fluff back with us.
Yeah, Fluff is always here for us.
That's right. That's right. Welcoming us from the Wit Sundays. Um, so there's Anthony's channel right there. Super good, super awesome channel. Does great
Mhm.
reviews of does tremendous reviews of Twilight Zones. Um, let's see. Heather is doing a live this Thursday on how she edits. Just thought I'd give you a thumbs up as I'm going to be co-hosting with her, and apparently you would like to see it.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Thursday.
Fluff, and Heather. Yes, please.
Oh,
What? Oh, this Thursday. What time would that be? Fluff.
American time now.
Yeah, American time.
Usually Heather has her stuff up. So
You know how it is. I wonder if they have that. Like you have the EST Eastern Standard Time or
mhm.
Pacific Standard
Well, it
Time
comes
or
up, automatically when you go to say if you go to over there now to Heather, it'll come up whatever time frame you live in.
okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about doing that. Yeah, I've been
Now,
wanting to know about
now
that too.
the list that you're reading off to it'll be on your Wednesday night. Oh, okay. So our Wednesday, their Thursday.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
let me ask you a question, Betty. I mean, I mean, if one of your peers asked you, what movies to watch, would you would this be the list that you would give them? The one you're giving now? Is this the ones you would tell them to watch first to get into horror film?
Well, it's just the ones I knew I watched. You know what I mean? Because like we ain't talk about Misery.
Oh
How she
God.
took that and his feet went.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Crazy.
a
Crazy.
good one. I don't care what no.
Annie Wilkes. Annie Wilkes. Crazy. Uh, let's see. See. It'll be. I think it'll be. I think yes, you're correct, Betty.
Mhm.
So Thursday. So Wednesday night. What time would it be for us?
It's probably 9:30 or 10:30 because I know her
Oh.
other stuff is like 6 o'clock or something in the morning. But I want to see that. Usually she know I'll stay up if it's something that I really want to see. Because her editing is phenomenal. Oh, her quality has gotten fun. Oh, I wish my quality could be that great.
It's starting to roll over to become Australian summertime.
Yeah,
Isn't that something else? Isn't that weird?
yeah,
I always find it so weird when I
yeah.
think about Christmas.
But it's a
You
good
know,
time to go now in September because it like you get all four seasons. When I went to visit my son, it was like all four seasons in September. I don't know about New Zealand, but September, all four seasons. It was hot, it was cold, it was rainy, it was everything.
mhm.
Yeah.
Man, I think I would like to. I would be really interesting to experience Christmas in summer.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can fly over.
Well, you know what? I better build some wings. That's the only way it's going to happen. Either that, or someone puts me in a box and ships me.
Oh, you don't like flying?
No, I don't have the money.
Oh, my husband don't like to fly.
Yeah. You know what? I used to like flying a lot more than I used to. I don't know what it is when I come older. I noticed with just a lot of older people as you get older, you don't really like flying as much as you did when you were younger. Because
Yeah,
younger, it was an adventure. You
yeah.
know, I remember the first time I flew to when I was I guess I was 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
That was exciting because the plane. That was before I realized what a plane could do when they don't have no engines.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Patrick. Echo saying we could FedEx. You would have to use FedEx for me though.
Well, you
Yeah.
can go on the ship like Armstrong. It take you 23 days, but you you get to Sydney. You just won't get where Fluff and Heather is.
Um, yeah, I just told him I had to use FedEx more than FedEx. What other movies you got in there that you were spooked over? Besides Misery is a good one.
Yeah,
Misery is a
Misery
good one.
is and I've seen a lot of Frankenstein movies. The wife of Frankenstein, whatever kind of Frankenstein. There were so many. So
Uh,
many. First it was Frankenstein, then the vampires came along too. They had,
let's
do
see.
you remember God, Barnabas Collins? It used to be a
Oh yeah,
scary movie.
Dark Shadow. Dark
Yeah, I used to
Shadow.
run home from school for that too.
There's still
Dark shadows, dark
yeah.
shadows.
You know what? That's a show that you hear people talk about a little bit, but I don't hear anybody really watching it. I know it's on Tubi. The old ones are on Tubi. I probably need to go back and watch it a couple of times.
It was, I don't know how long, but I know it was on for a while. I
Okay.
know it was on.
Yeah, it was on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The Fluff says here, I see. Let's see. Oh, okay. Fluff says here, Patrick, I got some exciting things. I don't know why Dad didn't show up. Says I got some exciting things coming up on the channel. I would love for you to be the first YouTuber to interview me.
Aw.
Hell yeah, Fluff. Let's talk. Can we talk? Can we talk? What would you like to talk, Fluff? Hell yeah, I'll interview you.
I'll be here watching, Fluff.
Yeah. You know what? I'll contact you. I'll contact you through Instagram.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's a horror. Right? Yes, it is. Fluff is a mess, honey. Fluff is Fluff.
Fluff no mess. Did you see her hair? She dyed her hair orange.
No, I didn't see the heart.
Yeah,
Really?
she dyed. Oh, okay. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
As maybe I'll have you email me. I'll do that. I'll send you my. I'll put my email. I'll send you my email address. And then we can set up a time for. We can set up a time. Yeah, I'll talk to you. But she did. She dyed her hair orange, and though I thought the only thing missing from it was some white in it, because then she looked just like the cheetah.
Did she do it for Halloween?
Huh?
I wondered if she do it for Halloween because it's orange.
I don't know. I don't think she did for Halloween. I think she just did it to change her look.
Oh.
Yeah. She put some orange in her hair. I'm like, that's awesome. And like I said, the only thing she needed was some white streaks in it, and she looked just like the cheetah. She'd be like an Australian cheetah.
Oh my God. But I think everybody should see The Bad Seed. I do. I think that's just.
I like the Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But the old one, don't y'all watch the new Bad Seed? Watch those.
She goes, she's laughing, says, Betty, no Halloween. Halloween since October. She did it by mistake.
Oh, that's what I thought she was. She probably was trying to brighten, and it turned orange.
And it turned out bright orange. It's been toned, and it's still orange.
Yep, that's what she did.
My gosh! So we got to send her another bad box of dye to make her hair white.
Then it'll fall out. She can't keep dyeing it.
Well, no, she'll be like an Australian cheetah.
Because it'll fall out. She can't keep dyeing it. She got to wait for it to grow out somewhere.
Okay, grow your hair out, Fluff, and then we'll send you some white dye, and then you become an Australian cheetah. Alice mentioning The Bad Seed is awesome. It is. I thought that is an awesome movie.
It's awesome.
I know they remade it with Macaulay Culkin, and they call it The Good Son.
I want to see that.
They call it The Good Son. It's the same premise.
Yeah. I like the end though when she was skipping along. I thought that was so cute.
Mm-hmm.
That was so
cute. Fluff likes the idea of becoming an Australian cheetah.
Oh,
I'm digging that. Okay, so what else you got there?
Sleepy Hollow was one. You remember The Blob?
Yep, both ones. The one from the 80s and the remake from the 80s, and the one from the 50s.
The old ones. Yeah.
The old one had starred a young, very young Steve McQueen.
Yep.
Steve McQueen. Man.
Oh, Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. I Mr. Hyde. How the man changes from. You don't see that?
You know it's good. It's like they always have the Universal monsters. They always have them. In fact, I have to go up there and double check. At the local store by me, every toward the end of September and October, they always sell the Universal monster movies for like $5. So I think this year I'm gonna go over there and pick up a couple. I definitely want to pick up like King or Frankenstein's monster, probably the Mummy. Visible Man. See, Hoff says, do they still have Dunkaroos? Yes, I still think they're gonna have Dunkaroos.
Now, what is King Kong and Godzilla considered?
That's considered kaiju, giant monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Because they're not really. Yeah, they can be scary sometimes.
yeah. I mean, like the first Godzilla film that came out in 1954. I
Mm-hmm.
I think you could probably consider that one a horror film. I heard people say that Godzilla Shin is horror. Um, King Kong is a great movie. Looks like it's coming to 4K. Yes, that's the 1933 edition, I do believe. They have re-released a lot of the King Kongs. Um, the one from 1933 with Fay Ray, then the one from 1976 with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange. That came out. Um, let's see, Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. Yep,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
yep, that's another great horror movie.
So many.
Yep, that's another great one.
Yeah.
And Fluff says that she's going to convince Dan to sit in the interview with the cheetah. Hell yeah! Gizmo, do you have an Instagram page? I think I might have asked that last time, but do you have an Instagram page? I hope you do. I hope you do. Please tell me you do. And I really did like the Peter Jackson version of King Kong. I like that movie very much, very much. In fact, that's my favorite version of the King Kong. Of all the King Kongs, that's my favorite version.
I don't think I seen The Nanny with Betty Davis. I don't think I saw that one. Let me write that down. I don't think I saw that one. Did you see that one?
Did not see the nanny. No, didn't see that one. I saw the
Yeah,
one with.
see.
I saw the nanny with Fran Drescher. Does that count?
No, we know why you was watching. Nah. She don't look like that no more.
I tell you one thing, though. I tell you one thing. If you're a science fiction fan, if you're like especially a Star Trek fan, if you're a Star Trek fan, you really would probably enjoy watching The Nanny. Had the guy who played Niles, the butler. He starred on. I think he starred on 3 episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding episodes. 3 of my favorites. Let's see.
Yeah. I used to watch all those. Dr. Spock, beam us up.
Oh my God. How do people get a hold of you? I mean, if I tell you what, do you feel comfortable enough to drop in your email in here and then I'll delete it afterwards? I will copy it down and then I'll erase it.
They don't have a Instagram.
No.
Betsy Walking Dead.
If you feel comfortable, I mean, I'll copy it and I'll delete it.
Same old people.
Same thing with you, Fluff. If you have an email account, could you both you, Fluff and Gizmo, if you guys could have drop your emails down in the chat, I will copy them down and I will delete them.
Let's say who you talking to.
Oh my God, Inhuman shit. Hops. Hell yeah. That's a new horror movie we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about that in the community. That movie's silly as hell. Hell yeah. I gotta keep my eye on there to make sure if they do drop their emails, I gotta copy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So what else you got? Because man, you got a lot of great movies.
I think I about done ran out, y'all. I'm sure it's more. I am sure it's more.
Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and send you a list. I'm gonna send you a list of 10 movies, but I'm not gonna be the only one. I'm gonna draft Kal-El Daly into this. I'm gonna have him come up with his 10 movies. I'm gonna come up with 10 movies, and we're gonna send them to you. And then maybe October, we're gonna have you come back,
Mm-hmm.
talk about, you can watch a couple of movies off that list, and talk to us about, yeah, I'll tell you about it, Cal. We're gonna introduce Betty into the world of modern horror. I already did. I did. Didn't I? Did I not? Did I not mention Superman 4 to you? I did. I did mention that to you. So that's one of the 10 movies that Cal would be introducing you to, as far as movies go. Hi, Jamie. Uh, okay, it could be worse. It could be the. Well, we're talking about modern horror, Cal. How are you doing, Jamie? Let's see. Watching Dog Soldiers. Yeah, I gotta get that.
Pet Cemetery. I just thought about that when you said that. Did you watch that Pet Cemetery?
Wow, why am I not seeing some of these comments? Okay. Did not see it there. Okay. Because he just said he sent oh, you know what? Oh, okay. You know what? I take it back. I know what you sent it to me. Yeah, I sent it to me. Perfect. I got it. Yep. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary to Jamie Hart. That's awesome. Yeah, what me and Cal will do, we will send you a list through social media, through Instagram. I'll send you 10 movies to watch. Cal will send you 10 movies to watch. I don't want to know the movies that you sent that he sent you, and he doesn't know the movies I'm sending you either. So we want you to pick 2 of the movies that we send you. We want you to pick out 2 to watch, and then you come back and talk to us about the movies that you saw.
Okay. He got Pet Cemetery. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. So that's what we'll do. Yeah. Don't put the names down of the movies in here, Cal. Send it to her on Instagram, and so I don't see it, and so you don't see mine, and then we'll have her come back and talk a little bit about the movies that she saw. And again, that's something I was gonna we were talking about before. It's like when people say,
did Fluff drop hers too?
Huh?
She say grab it too, but just in case did Fluff drop hers? I don't see it.
You know what? They sent it to me. They sent it to
good. Okay, I can always get it from him if I need it, Fluff. Thanks.
Yep. Yeah. So we're talking about this. This has happened. We always hear about people introducing new people to watching horror films. Like you always hear the saying, "Well, if someone came up to you and said, I'm new to horror movies, which movie should I watch first?" We always talk about it as is the person coming up to us and asking us about it. Young person.
Don't scare me to death, Cal.
Oh yeah, he'll already do that with his first movie. His first movie is scarier than anything I could send you.
Don't do it.
He wins when it comes down to sending you the scariest movie, and he knows it.
Don't do it. Please, because I ain't gonna watch it. I didn't watch
it. Let me go grab that real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, 22 years. Great. Awesome. I'm 30, honey. So you got 8 more to go to catch up, and then I'll be 8+ more. That's a lifetime. Very good. Most people don't make it that long. Yes. Video, man. He said, "Did you get it?"
Yeah, check it now.
Al was in here one time.
No, I don't see it.
Yeah, but he was here a while ago.
You know what? Unless I went to the let me check my page here. I might have the wrong email address.
Yes, Jamie, because I only know the old ones. So they're gonna recommend me, and I'm gonna look at 2 or 3, and then I come back and talk about it. But if they scare me too much, they won't have much to talk about.
Analytics.
They won't have much to talk about.
Oh, here, let's see.
Scare you to life. All right, Mr. Cal.
Okay.
He said the older movie's scarier to him.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do reverse. I'm dropping my email into the chat, Gizmo and Fluff. I'm dropping it in here. So if you guys want to email me, you can email me here.
Oh, Jamie. Okay. 1994. What was I doing in 94?
Getting scared.
The last child was 83. So, ooh, 94. I probably had some teenagers. Them were good years.
Okay. Fluff and Gizmo, there's my email. Go ahead and just, even if it's just a hello, just send that to me. That way I can capture your addresses. And then so I can go ahead and talk to you guys.
Aw.
Congratulations, Jamie. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? If you want to, jump in on there. 1994. Yeah. Jamie's gonna jump in on here and send you. Maybe she'll send you a few movies. Yeah.
Sound good.
Yeah, Betty's on Instagram too.
Yeah, I am Betty J. Gathers. Same thing.
And yep. Okay, just let me know when you guys got it, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'll get rid of it. Another 3 or 4 minutes here. Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us on Sunday. I really do appreciate it. You guys been rocking it out today. We will be back next week. Me and Betty are going to be back. We might have a special guest. We will be back next week. Okay, let me see. Wonder if it's up. Oh, why am I not seeing it?
94. What I was doing in 94.
Let me see. Let me talk it again. Oh, this is there. This is my email. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yep, I got you. Perfect. Fluff. I got you. Perfect.
That Fluff working it. Work it, Fluff.
Work it, Fluff.
Yep.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate this now. Move. Gotcha. Awesome. All right. Not a problem. All right. Let's see. In 94, Jamie says she was drinking lots of Zima order draft nights at the club down the road from college. Boy.
You're not telling the whole story, Jamie. She ain't telling the whole story. What else was you doing in college?
Yeah, so me and Betty will be back next week for our this was supposed to happen, or this was actually supposed to happen today, but things just got all caught in the washing machine. So we're gonna have to push it back till next week. But next week we're gonna be joined by Betty, and I'm not sure who, by somebody I'm sure. But we are actually gonna start our look at John Wick. So yeah. Yeah, I cannot believe how many people have said that they have not watched John Wick. I can't believe it. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar franchise.
Running.
It's super popular. And then I'm going like, hey, would you like to talk about John Wick? And they were like,
he is cute.
Yeah, it's Keanu Reeves. Probably his best role he's played in a very, very long time. Probably. So, oh, you know what? I have to pencil you a little bit further out than that, Fluff. Yeah, I have a calendar. I can do you on the 21st. I can pencil you in on the 21st. That's a Wednesday.
At 8 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could pencil you in on the 21st of September. Yeah, I could do that. Let me move this here out of the way.
Hey, Joshua.
All right. Hey, Joshua, how are you, sir? All right.
I know Jamie, honey. He is just hot. Hot.
All right. So I will put that down for you, Fluff, and I will email you. Okay. So I will be interviewing Fluff on the 21st. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yep. That will be fun. Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, so we'll be here next week, and like I said, we don't know. We're gonna have special guests. We're gonna figure that out. We're gonna have a special guest, and then we'll go ahead.
I'm gonna come back with my notebook, honey. I'm gonna write down everything.
Now, rumor has it there will be a bat coming back on October 2nd. The bat is supposed to be back. If he does, he will be here for John Wick 3. That's right. The bat will be back, and then yeah, we'll have to. Then he's going on vacation again. So then we'll be back. We'll be back kicking it. Hey, Operation Capucin, how are you? Glad you're here. Welcome to the Midnight Society.
A Midnight Society.
I know, that's pretty exciting stuff, isn't it?
It is. I know. I would love to watch all of them. I just don't want to. I'm one of those people. If I promise you, I could be sick and still come.
We're doing well. We talked a little bit about 9/11 a little bit, and now we're talking about some of the movies. We're talking about movies that you would introduce somebody to. If somebody was going to come up to you, whether it been a young person or older person, which horror films would you introduce them to? And Betty just shared some of her movies that if I came to her and said, I haven't watched a single horror movie in my life, which movies would you recommend? And Betty just recommended a lot of great movies. So that would be that's I like that. I really like the idea. It came with some really great movies, Betty. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. Because you know what, and the fact of the matter is, I mean, people who've been to the Midnight Society, they already know that, we've already had Mary Wilson come up. We had T. Betty come up. Now we have you come up. Listen, let's just break it down. Older ladies love horror, and they got the coin to spend on getting a good movie. If a movie's good, you go out there and you'll buy it and you'll enjoy it. I just find it really funny that people just almost like ignore the group. I think it's so cool. I do. I think it's so cool that you love horror films.
Jamie talking about she recommend the Saw. That sounds bloody.
No, that's suspense. That's a great movie to recommend. I would recommend that too. I would recommend Saw. Yeah, I would recommend the first two.
Any Day Now. What was Any Day Now about? TV show called Any Day Now. I don't remember.
Okay, Joshua's recommending. He was going to recommend movies for someone who wanted to get into it. Event Horizon or Ghost Ship. Also, two very excellent choices. I love Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship is bomb. It's the bomb. Love Event Horizon too. Echo saying he would recommend Wreck. Yeah, Saw's not as bloody as you think, and it's a very well acted movie, and it has a lot of stars in it. Yeah, Ghost Ship is awesome. That's a great movie. In fact, I picked that up with I got lucky. I picked up the 3-pack at the library, and I got House of Wax and I got Ghost Ship as two of the movies. Oh my gosh, those are two really strong movies, Kal-El. Really strong, especially Event Horizon. Ghost Ship has Brightburn. Yep, Brightburn's really strong. That definitely is a horror film. See, Echo saying it's been a long time since he saw Event and Ghost Ship. Yeah, you know what it is. You know what though. I have to sit there and say that I think that let's see. Thought of a House of. Ooh, yeah. You know what though? If they were new to horror, I would pass on that one. Yeah, that one's a little bit too much torture porn for me to recommend. I couldn't recommend that to anybody. I thought it was a little bit too torture porn for me.
Oh, no torture porn.
Yeah. I actually saw House of Corpse. I saw it in a small theater. It was packed, it was like 60 seats, and had all Rob Zombie fans there. They're all excited for the movie. They were loud too. Then the movie played out, and then at the end of the night, at the end of the movie, we all came out, and you would expect everybody would be all jazzed and pumped and everything, but they were damn quiet when they came out of the theater. Really quiet. That's a heavy movie. It is. I mean, as far as the violence go, it's a mean-spirited movie. It's a mean-spirited movie. Let's see. Kal-El says Pat loved Halloween 78 and all screams. He wants to recommend them all to you, Betty. See, that's just Cal. That's just Cal just trying to get mad, trying to strike back because I warned you off at Superman 4. Echo saying show them an Asylum movie. Echo, you know what? Oh my gosh, I should. I'll have to send you, Betty. I'll have to send you the trailer to the first Asylum movie I ever saw.
I'm not trying to
Oh my gosh. Asylum movies are just so much fun. The Dawn of the Dead remake, hell yes, Jamie. You are after my own heart. It's a bloody movie, but it is a beautifully acted movie as well. That movie will that'll choke you up. A24 baby. Oh boy, yeah. Well, it looks like A24 will be making a visit back to the Midnight Society in October. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure which one I'm covering. I do know that we'll be covering an A24 film in October. Land of the Dead is also very good, very strong. I recommend Land of the Dead as well. That's very underrated. Let's see. Betty's thinking you're trying to scare her so bad she's not picking up the phone next we call. I would recommend The Evil Dead. I would recommend both, Joshua. Wouldn't you say? I would recommend both Evil Deads, the original one and the remake. Yeah, that's man, and between the Dawn of the Dead remake and the Evil Dead remake, that shows to prove that remakes can be done and done right. See. Seriously, Hobbs, you mentioning that movie? Oh, you know what?
No, not Carrie. Not Carrie.
See, Carrie remake. Yeah, Carrie remake is not that bad. The sequel's not that bad either. Texas Chainsaw 03 remake is fire. No, I'm not recommending Hereditary. Never, ever. No. Hereditary. Oh, no. Last Night in Soho, yes. The Witch, awesome. The Witch is really good. It's real good. Not bloody, and it's very suspenseful. No. Jamie, I love you, but no. Jamie's recommending Hereditary.
What is that about?
I think I would. Oh my gosh, I would. Seriously, Even Superman 4 is better than Hereditary. Did I actually say that? I did.
Oh, what's Hereditary about?
No, it's terrible.
Oh,
Okay, okay. Okay, my opinion is just terrible.
I'm gonna look it
But
up.
she
I'm
did
gonna see
recommend. But she
it. I
did
just
recommend.
want to see what it's about.
But she did recommend Last Night in Soho, and she did recommend The Witch. The Witch is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, The Witch would have been a true 100% classic, except unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, they made a critical character in the movie. They made them too cute. Now it's supposed to be a scary figure, but when you see him, he comes across as really cute, and he takes you out of the movie. uh, let's see. Yeah, Last Night's the whole surprise, very good film. Night of the Living Dead. No, that was one of the movies that she recommended. Joshua, she recommended Night of the Living Dead. So yes, yeah, she definitely recommended that. Betty did it. We were talking about that one. Let's see. No, I love Superman. You can't say that, Kal-El. I love Superman. That's not true. Um, let's see. Echo Zero, Dead Snow 2, Red versus Dead, Dead Snow 1. Oh my gosh, there's so many movies. There's so many. That's not true. I don't hate Superman. Okay, he's just trying to sprack it up. I love Superman. Superman Returns, Superman Returns, Superman 2, uh, you know, Man of Steel. Man of Steel is excellent. Um, Night of the Creeps. Yes, I have to watch that. Lepus, Night of the Lepus. No, Bundy Reborn. How about Frogs? What we watched on Now It's Dark's channel. He played Frogs. That was really good. Slither, excellent movie. That's the same guy. That's James Gunn. He wanted to do. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have you so many movies, Betty.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna become a horror channel.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Tuesdays with me, Betty J. Gathers. Tonight on the horror theater, we're talking about Bundy Reborn. I tell you what, did I tell you the horror movie I watched today? I watched this movie called Death by Cat Food, and it's about this guy. He makes a bet with his buddy, and then he goes back on the bet, and then this haunted can of cat food chases him throughout this mansion, and at the end of it opens up by itself, and the guy has to eat the cat food. Yeah, Hobbs is sitting there saying instead of Betty J. Gathers, you'll be known as Betty J. Whore.
Oh.
Oh, how about horror goddess? Betty Joe horror goddess.
Wither.
I love that.
Creeps.
I love that. But she's going to become an action adventure star next week, though.
Yep, John Wick.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned before your husband doesn't like watching horror films. Do you guys watch action movies together, like Rambo or those types of movies? Do you guys watch?
Used to.
Huh?
We used to, but he's more into news and all that other stuff.
Oh, you got to get back in the movies. Movies are fun. News,
Yeah. We need
news
to.
is-
We need to
news
get
is-
back into movies. We really do.
Let's see. Echo came one called The Bug. It has Jason Momoa in it. Yep. My gosh, you know what? We have a ton of movies for you
I
to
know
watch.
it's so many. It's so many. So many.
So what do you got coming on your channel, real quick, Betty, this week?
Well, tomorrow I'm gonna talk a little bit about 9/11, just a little bit. Friday, I don't know, but tomorrow I know it's gonna be a mixture of little everything, but 9/11's thrown in there a little bit. So yeah, nothing exciting. I wish. I wish.
I got, I got, I got 3 shows we got coming up.
Mhm. That's
We
right.
have
That
on
much.
Tuesday. We have Jay Gioni will be with us. He's a film writer and screenwriter, film director who made a movie called "It Snows All the Time," and he'll be here with us on Tuesday the 13th. On the 14th, our good friend Karen Cleach will be here. Will be returning. Um, let's see. Gizmo says the scariest film ever to come and see. Okay, what's the scariest movie, Gizmo? Let's hear it. I want to see the one movie that you recommend that's the scariest. Uh, so Karen will be here with us at 7 p.m. on Wednesday the 14th, and then on Thursday the 15th, we have Madame Genevieve will be here with us on the 15th. And then next Friday around 9 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock. I think it's 9. I could be 10. I think it's 10. My 10 my time, 9 his time. I
Would
will be
X
hitting.
Files be considered? I like X Files too.
Yeah, X Files. They had a lot of scary. Come and see. Is from 1985. Okay, that's the scariest film. All right, I have to check that one out. Uh, Definitely. Let's see. And then, like I said, I'm going to I am the Ice Lord show next Friday. I have to see exactly what time it is, but come back on Tuesday. I'll tell you. And then next week, the week after that, the 19th, we have Jim Martin will be here with us. That's Now It's Dark. He's going to be doing his very first interview, and he's doing it with me on the 19th at 8 p.m. It's a special Monday night show. We really hope that you'll come out and support that. Jim's a very nice man and very supportive. And yeah, I will be joined by a special co-host for that night. Yeah, it might be a little brief, but he will be here. He will be co-hosting, and he'll be here on the 19th. And then we have screenwriter Spider Dobrowski. He'll be here on the 20th. He's doing a movie. He wrote a movie called Teardrop that's played on Tubi. That was edited by our good friend Sean Kane. And then now you saw that. If you guys were just here, we'll be talking the fluff and stuff on the 21st at 8 p.m. my time. I think it'll be about 10 o'clock her time at 10 in the morning. And then on the 22nd, we are doing a doubleheader at 6 p.m. We'll be talking to actress and music producer, children's book writer. She's just a Renaissance artist. And we'll be talking to Max Wassa. And then my first interview from New Zealand. We'll be back here at 9 p.m. on the 22nd, and I'll be talking to Tristan Risk, actress Tristan Risk. Some of you might remember her from American Mary. And she is living in New Zealand, and she is becoming a puppeteer and a sword swallower. I'm really hoping to try to get her to do that on the show. I'm going to ask her to swallow a sword on the show. I want to see that. Our time is up. I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting the show. I really do appreciate it. Betty, you've been an awesome guest. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us.
Welcome.
We will be back next week at 8 p.m. and we will be here ready to rock and roll with John Wick 1. John Wick 1. Hopefully John Wick 1, Keanu 2. Thank you guys for all showing up. I appreciate it. And we will see you. We'll see you Tuesday night at 8 o'clock here for Jay Gioni. Thanks so much, and peace.
Oh,